Hi everyone, welcome back to Arpita Sharma classes. I am Arpita Sharma, your educator, and today we are going to study a really important verdict. In a recent hearing, Supreme Court of India has upheld the constitutional validity of Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. We are going to understand what has the Supreme Court really said in the ruling, what were the petition challenges that the petitioners were filing against the provisions of PMLA Act. We are going to study all of that in complete detail, and the source that I have used for the this particular lecture is the Sunset TV, the video called Perspective. From that we have taken the basically the facts and the figures of this particular lecture, and we have used the Hindu newspaper, the editorial today, right on page number 6, dated 1st August 2022. We are using that also as the source and the fodder for this particular lecture. Let's get started. So now here we need to understand that the court has underlined that the principle of innocence of accused or the offender, it is regarded as a human right. So here the Supreme Court has laid down, or you can say has underlined, that the principle of innocence of the offender, it is the human right, but that presumption can be interdicted by a law which is made by the legislature or the parliament. So first let us understand what are the issues. Okay. Also, one of the important points of this verdict of Supreme Court is that by this verdict, Supreme Court basically has upheld the Enforcement Directorate's powers under PMLA to arrest, to attach the property involved in money laundering, to search and to seizure under the PMLA. These are the you can say powers of the EDs which have been upheld by the court in PMLA. Also we can say that the powers have been made very stronger. ED की जो powers है उनको काफी ज़्यादा strong बना दिया गया है इस verdict से. ठीक है. Now when we look at the Sunset TV video which is on the with the name of Perspective, we'll see that there were three important guests in that particular video. A.K. Bhattacharya, editorial director, Business Standard; Justice Chandra, former judge; and over here we had Karnal Singh, who was the former chief of Enforcement Directorate. And all of these three guests, eminent personalities, they presented their own view on the Supreme Court verdict. First, we are going to look into their own perspectives and opinions, and then we are going to study what exactly has happened in PMLA. Okay, so first let us understand what A.K. Bhattacharya had to say. So A.K. Bhattacharya said that Supreme Court has upheld the ED's powers. That means ED has become more stronger now. Okay, however, there were still questions lingering over the right to bail as per section 45 of PMLA. Justice Chandra, who was also a former judge, he put forward two to three important points. He said the first point is that PMLA is quite different from the ordinary criminal law. तो आपका जनरल क्रिमिनल लॉ होता है उससे थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट होता है PMLA. In the general criminal law, every accused is innocent till proven guilty. But in PMLA, accused will have to prove his or her innocence. यहाँ पर इन्होंने ये कहा है, जस्टिस चंद्रा ने ये कहा है कि जो अक्यूज्ड होता है, जनरल क्रिमिनल लॉ की अगर हम बात करें तो एक अक्यूज्ड तब तक उसको गिल्टी नहीं पाया जाएगा जब तक कोई प्रूफ सामने ना आए. बट पीएमएलए में अक्यूज्ड जो होता है, जिसको अरेस्ट किया गया होता है, उसको खुद अपनी इनोसेंस प्रूव करनी पड़ती है. देन सेकंड इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट दैट ही लिस्टेड डाउन ओवर हियर इज दैट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आल्सो प्रिस्क्राइब्ड अंडर आर्टिकल 22 no arrest can be made without informing the accused person. Basically all the burden of proving that I am not accused, I am not guilty is laid down on the accused only. Okay, second important point वो ये बोलते हैं कि आर्टिकल 22 हमें ये राइट देता है कि अगर आप किसी को अरेस्ट करने जाते हो तो आप उसको इन्फॉर्म करोगे कि क्यों आपको अरेस्ट किया जा रहा है, आप एफआईआर की कॉपी दिखाओगे. राइट, दिस इज द जनरल क्रिमिनल लॉ. अंडर आर्टिकल 22 if a person has been arrested, he or she cannot be arrested until he or she is informed. But PMLA prescribed, and Supreme Court also backed it or confirmed this particular provision, that the person need not be supplied with the enforcement case information report. देखो, in the general criminal law we provide the FIR, first information report, but in the case of PMLA we provide the enforcement case information report because PMLA is administered by the Enforcement Directorate. So there is an enforcement case information report which need not be given to the accused person at the time of arrest. because it's a base document on which the investigating agencies start their investigations. ये difference हो जाता है. So here the people who have challenged the provisions of PMLA, they have used this particular provision and said that this is in complete violation of Article 22. Now we'll also understand why Supreme Court has not said that this particular provision is unconstitutional. Supreme Court ने कहा है कि ये provision बिल्कुल unconstitutional नहीं है, आप इसको challenge नहीं कर सकते. क्यों नहीं कर सकते ये हम पढ़ेंगे अभी. And then third point he raised was that no one can be compelled to become the witness against himself or herself. That means self incrimination यहाँ पर allowed नहीं, आप अपने against witness नहीं बन सकते. Section 63 under PMLA, information has to be given. False information or no information will be considered as an offence. This is under the general criminal law कि भाई आपकी statement, आपकी information आपको force नहीं किया जा सकता कि आप अपने खिलाफ खड़े हो सको या अपने खिलाफ कोई statement दो. But PMLA में सेक्शन जो आपका सेक्शन 63 आ जाता है, उसमें कहा गया है कि अगर आप झूठी इन्फॉर्मेशन दे रहे हो या कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड नहीं कर रहे हो, दोनों ही केस में ये ऑफेंस माना जाएगा. Again, it is basically the petitioners are challenging this particular issue as well. Okay, now let's have a look at what Karnal Singh, who is the former chief of Enforcement Directorate, has to say. Basically he said we need to understand who are the accused in the money laundering case. देखो, whenever for example you are indulging in some corrupt activities, okay, and you have, because of those activities you have earned some black money, okay. Now if you want to use that black money, you cannot use it directly because then it will be traced by the government. The government will ask questions, from where did you get this money? So what you will do, through the route of hawala, you will try to convert this black money into white money, right? And in this process many other people are also included. ऐसा नहीं कि आप अकेले black money को white money में convert कर दो. हवाला के through जब आप black money को white money में convert करते हो तो इसमें काफी intermediaries होते हैं जो involved होते हैं. Okay, so Karnal Singh basically asked this question that who are the accused in money laundering case? This person who is actually earning the black money, or all of these persons who are involved in the process of converting black money into white money? And basically the accused, they are most powerful people, money wise also, power wise also. So they use best of advocates, and those advocates then start challenging the act itself constitutionally. For example, in this case also, section 3, section 5, section 19, 17, 18, 45 of the PMLA have been constitutionally challenged, and that is why Supreme Court finally came out with a verdict. Okay, now here Supreme Court, after this, these petitions were filed in the court abhi 2-3 days back, Supreme Court basically proved all the provisions of this particular act as constitutionally valid, except that the Supreme Court has said that if there is no predicate offense, then there is no money laundering. Okay, now let us understand this particular line. Is predicate offense, और इस line को अच्छे से समझ लेते हैं, because this line has been explained very wonderfully in today's editorial. आज के editorial में ना इस line को काफी अच्छे से समझाया गया है. So I am going to make you understand that. Here in this article, this particular paragraph deals with the predicate offense topic. जो अभी मैंने आपको predicate offense topic बताया, तो ये जो paragraph है ये इस topic से deal करता है. What is written in this paragraph? Basically in this paragraph the judgment has been cited. एक judgment इसमें cite की गई है. What is the judgment? Judgment in the case of, write it down, Vijay Madan Lal, write it down, Vijay Madan Lal Chaudhary, Vijay Madan Lal Chaudhary. ठीक है, so the judgment in the Vijay Madan Lal Chaudhary confirms what ought to have been obvious on a bare reading of the law, that although the offence under PMLA is separately prosecutable, PMLA एक्ट के तहत कोई भी आप ऑफेंस करते हो वो सेपरेटली प्रोसिक्यूटेबल है, उस पर सेपरेटली चार्जेस किए जाएंगे, अनलेस द प्रोसीड्स ऑफ द क्राइम, that is whatever you are earning from that crime that you have committed relates to a scheduled offense. Now scheduled offense is also known as predicate offense. No case can be made out under the statute. In other words, if a person is ultimately acquitted or discharged in a case related to the predicate offense, then charge under PMLA can no longer be maintained. मान लो predicate offense जो है या scheduled offense जो है उसमें आपको बाइज्जत बरी कर दिया जाता है, तो आपके ऊपर PMLA के चार्जेस यहाँ पर नहीं लगेंगे. Now what are scheduled offenses? Predicate offenses क्या होते हैं? Scheduled offenses क्या होते हैं? Basically there are different kinds of offenses like murder, extortion, kidnapping, offenses committed under Immoral Trafficking Act और Copyright Act, Trademarks Act, etc. तो अगर ये जो PMLA के तहत ब्लैक मनी को व्हाइट मनी में कन्वर्ट करने के प्रोसेस में कोई स्केड्यूल्ड ऑफेंस भी कमिट किया है और उस स्केड्यूल्ड ऑफेंस में आपको बाइज्जत बरी कर दिया जाता है, तो पीएमएलए के अंडर आपको प्रोसिक्यूट नहीं किया जाएगा। तो इन दैट केस सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये बोला है कि इस केस में आपका सेपरेट प्रोसिक्यूशन होगा, बट वैसे तो सारे जो प्रोविजंस है पीएमएलए के, दोज आर करेक्ट, दोज आर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली वैलिड। ओके, नाउ दिस विल strengthen the investigative agencies। इस प्रोविजन से ना इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसीज काफी मजबूत हुई हैं, because now Supreme Court has made it very clear for the people also and for the enforcement directorate also that what are the offenses or how you are going to put somebody behind the bar using the provisions of PMLA or the provisions of the scheduled offenses। Okay, so these are the points highlighted by these three eminent guests। Now we are going to understand the basic foundation of PMLA, what is PMLA, what is the verdict, why this verdict has taken place, and what is the meaning of this verdict, what were the provisions that were challenged। So there were initially, it was in 2002 that the PMLA came into force, which formed the core of legal framework put in place by India to fight money laundering। Now what exactly is money laundering? Let us understand that first। Money laundering क्या होता है? When you conceal the origin of money। So money laundering is the process of concealing origin of money। कहाँ से वो पैसा आपके पास आया है, अगर आप उस सोर्स ऑफ ओरिजिन को छुपा रहे हैं तो वो मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का हिस्सा बनता है। बिकॉज सच काइंड ऑफ मनी of whom you are hiding the or concealing the source of origin, that means that has been obtained or derived from illegal activities only। That can be corruption, embezzlement, gambling, ड्रग ट्रैफिकिंग, इलीगल एक्टिविटीज एक्सेट्रा। ओके, तो अगर आप उसको उसके सोर्स को छुपाकर उसको लेजिटिमेट सोर्स में कन्वर्ट कर रहे हो तो मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का वो एक्टिविटी हो जाती है। सो पीएमएलए इज अ क्रिमिनल लॉ विच हैज बीन इनेक्टेड टू प्रिवेंट मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एंड टू प्रोवाइड फॉर कॉन्फिस्केशन ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम और इन्वॉल्व्ड इन द मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग। एंड द प्रोविजंस ऑफ पीएमएलए, दे आर एप्लीकेबल टू ऑल financial institutions, they are applicable even to the banks including the central bank, that is the RBI, mutual funds, insurance companies के भी जो financial intermediaries होते हैं उस पे भी ये provisions applicable होते हैं। Now there was an amendment that came in 2012। What was that amendment? It added the concept of reporting entity। Reporting entity, that means which reports the origin or the source of money। That means it can include a banking company also, intermediary, financial intermediary or financial institution as well। And पीएमएलए 2002 में ना एक फाइन इसके अंदर लेवी किया गया है अब अमेंडमेंट में, अप टू ₹5 लाख, वो 2002 में लेवी किया गया था, ठीक है, बट नाउ इट हैज बीन रिमूव्ड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस अमेंडमेंट। ठीक है, नाउ इट हैज प्रोवाइडेड फॉर प्रोविजनल अटैचमेंट एंड कॉन्फिस्केशन ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ एनी पर्सन विच इज इन्वॉल्व्ड इन सच एक्टिविटीज इन ऑर्डर टू मेक श्योर दैट that person does not convert that particular property into a legitimate property or uses that property to convert the source of money into from an illegitimate source to a legitimate source। Okay, even the preamble to PMLA 2002 says it's an act to prevent money laundering and to provide for confiscation of property derived from or involved in money laundering। Even if you're using a car, right, to transfer money from one source to another, that car can also be confiscated by the investigative or agencies under the PMLA Act। Okay, because it is involved in money laundering process, and this particular process is administered by Enforcement Directorate under Department of Revenue, the Ministry of Finance। तो ये जो एक्ट है इसको कौन एडमिनिस्टर करता है? ईडी एडमिनिस्टर करता है। Okay, so this was the first basic part of money law, the PMLA Act। Now here we need to also understand what are the challenges that the petitioners have raised against this particular act in the Supreme Court, and what were the verdict of Supreme Courts against all these challenges। अब petitioners ने क्या challenge raise किए इस particular act के खिलाफ और Supreme Court ने उस पर क्या judgment दिया, ये समझ लेते हैं। First petition said that whenever ED goes to arrest someone, it should provide the person to be arrested with the enforcement case information report। तो पहला पॉइंट एक पिटिशनर ने ये रेज किया कि जब भी इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट किसी को अरेस्ट करने जाता है तो उसको ECIR देना चाहिए उस इंसान को जिसको वो अरेस्ट कर रहे हैं। ECIR मतलब इन्फोर्समेंट केस इंफॉर्मेशन रिपोर्ट। नाउ व्हाट डिड द सुप्रीम कोर्ट से इन दिस पर्टिकुलर पिटिशन? सुप्रीम कोर्ट वेरी क्लियरली सेड दैट यू कैन नॉट equate ECIR with FIR। आप इंफॉर्मेशन रिपोर्ट के साथ ECIR को रिलेट कर ही नहीं कर ही नहीं सकते. Why? Because ECIR is like a base document which is going to be used by all the investigative authorities. It is an internal document of ED. Okay, so supplying or sharing ECIR to the accused is not compulsory. Only disclosure of reasons why you are getting arrested, that is enough. ECIR देने की क्या जरूरत है, बस इतना बताना काफी है कि आपको क्यों अरेस्ट किया जा रहा है ईडी के द्वारा. ठीक है, बिकॉज ECIR एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट इंटरनल डॉक्यूमेंट होता है ईडी का, इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टोरेट का, जिसको शेयर करना अक्यूज्ड के साथ मैंडेटरी नहीं है. So this was Supreme Court's verdict in this particular question. Now another petitioner, filed this challenge that offense related to offense of money laundering. So basically the definition of money laundering was challenged in the court. Section 3 deal करता है money laundering की definition से. So basically let us understand the definition, what the section says, and then we'll understand what was the challenge. See, the section 3 says, whosoever directly or indirectly attempts to indulge or knowingly assist or knowingly is a party or is actually involved in any process or activity connected with the proceeds of crime and projecting it as untainted property shall be guilty of offense of money laundering. Here the petitioner said, you are adding the word and. Okay, you are saying that any person who is directly or indirectly, involved in the process of, basically money laundering process and is actively connected with the proceed of crime, and that person is, basically projected that he is or she is, using the untainted property, he or she is guilty of the offense of money laundering. In that case, here you are saying that these two things are connected with each other. If these are separated from, these two statements are separated from each other, you cannot try that person under the PMLA. तो एंड के यूसेज से क्या हुआ, दोनों स्टेटमेंट एक दूसरे के साथ चिपक गई. अगर इन स्टेटमेंट्स को अलग करोगे आप, तो अलग से PMLA के अंदर आप उस इंसान को गिल्टी नहीं पा सकते. इस पर्टिकुलर लूप होल का यूज किया जा रहा था, तो इस लूप होल को चैलेंज किया गया कि भाई ऐसे तो फिर आप काफी लोग हैं जिनको आप गिल्टी प्रूव ही नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, बिकॉज अगर कुछ लोग प्रोसीड्स ऑफ क्राइम के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, तो कुछ लोग उसे अनटेंटेड प्रॉपर्टी अलग से उसे अगर प्रूव कर रहे हैं कि भाई ये प्रॉपर्टी अनटेंटेड है, दैट मींस ये प्रॉपर्टी मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग या करप्शन से रिलेटेड नहीं है, तो उनको PMLA में आप चार्ज कर ही नहीं सकते. सो सुप्रीम कोर्ट वेरी इंटेलिजेंटली इंटरप्रेटेड दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोविजन एंड सेड, interpretation suggested by petitioners that only upon projecting or claiming the property in question as untainted property that the offense of section 3 would be complete stands rejected. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला है आपका जो कहना है कि इस स्टेटमेंट को आप फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट के साथ जोड़ोगे तभी ये पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन 3 मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग के अंडर आएगा, तभी वो ऑफेंस मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग के अंडर आएगा. ये आपका जो आपने चैलेंज किया है, इस चैलेंज को, इस पिटीशन को हम कैंसिल कर रहे हैं, रिजेक्ट कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज वी आर क्लियरली ऑफ द व्यू दैट द एक्सप्रेशन एंड, दिस word and occurring in section 3 has to be construed as or. मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि ठीक है, उस वक्त लिखते वक्त जो भी प्रॉब्लम हुआ हो, आप इस लूप होल का यूज करके बच नहीं सकते PMLA से, क्योंकि यहाँ पर हम एंड को और के साथ ही इक्वेट कर रहे हैं. एंड का मतलब हम और ही लेंगे, either of these two or together, these two statements we can use them together also, separately also we can try that person under PMLA. Okay, so basically they said that we are of the view that and will be construed as or to give full play to the said provision so as to include every process or activity indulged into by anyone. We are not going to spare anyone just because of a loophole in the particular law. ठीक है, आप कोई loophole लेकर आ जाओगे, उसको चैलेंज करके बचने की कोशिश करोगे, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है, so this also was cleared by Supreme Court. Now another petitioner filed this challenge. They said that section 5 of PMLA is unconstitutional. ये पिटिशनर थर्ड इशू था, पिटिशनर्स के द्वारा रेज किया गया कि सेक्शन 5 जो है ना वो अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है. व्हाट इज सेक्शन 5? अटैचमेंट ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी इन्वॉल्व्ड इन मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, दैट इज सेक्शन 5. जब मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग में जो प्रॉपर्टी यूज की गई है या इन्वॉल्व है, उसको ईडी अटैच कर लेता है, यानी कि अपने पास सीज करके रख लेता है, केस से अटैच कर लेता है. It empowers the director or deputy director of ED to provisionally attach a property for 180 days if he has reason to believe that any person who is in possession with the proceeds of crime, such proceeds of crime are likely to be concealed or transferred using that property. ओके तो अगर डायरेक्टर या डिप्यूटी डायरेक्टर है ईडी का, उनको ये लगने लगता है, उनके पास ये इनफ रीजन है बिलीव करने के लिए कि इस प्रॉपर्टी का यूज किया जा सकता है इस क्राइम को छुपाने के लिए या क्राइम को ट्रांसफर करने के लिए, तो उस प्रॉपर्टी को 180 दिन के लिए अपने पास अटैच करके रख सकते हैं। ठीक है, हियर बेसिकली the petitioner said that this is unconstitutional, ये तो because you are just using this particular provision on a reason to believe। ठीक है, आप ये नहीं कह रहे हो कि प्रॉपर आपके पास प्रूफ है। कभी कभी क्या होता है, शक के बिना पर भी प्रॉपर्टी अटैच करके ईडी के डायरेक्टर्स रख लेते हैं। तो इन दैट केस सेक्शन 5 सबसेक्शन 1 में एक प्रोविजो दिया गया है। ठीक है, दिस प्रोविजो हैज बीन given by the law and Supreme Court uses this proviso and said that it is constitutional, okay, to basically curtail the power of officers. We use this proviso, so the director or deputy director of ED cannot misuse this provision। तो इसमें आपको घबराने की जरूरत नहीं है, इसको आप अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल नहीं कह सकते। क्यों? क्योंकि हम इस प्रोविजो का यूज करते हैं ताकि हम ईडी के जो ऑफिसर्स हैं उनको अनलिमिटेड अनरिस्ट्रिक्टेड पावर ना दें, ताकि वो अपने पावर को मिसयूज ना करें। Thus, suspected proceeds of crime can be seized from the possession of any person, irrespective of the fact that whether the person had been indulged in any money laundering process or whether it was he who has or has not acquired the proceeds of crime। So here you cannot interpret this particular section like that। We use a proviso to make sure that the power of the officers of ED are curtailed। They cannot misuse their power because they had to, Supreme Court has said they have to have a very strong reason to believe। Just on the basis of guts or intuition they cannot do that। Okay, एक proper proof की जरूरत है। reason to believe मतलब ये नहीं कि मन में आया और अटैच कर लिया प्रॉपर्टी, उनके पास proper proofs और evidences होने चाहिए to prove their attachment। Okay, next important challenge to the provisions of PMLA was burden of proof, section 24। The petitioner said that this section is in violation of Article 14। When a person is accused of having committed offence under section 3, that is that under money laundering, the burden of proving that proceeds of crime are untainted property shall be of accused। Basically ये section बोलता है कि burden of proving दैट आपका जो पैसा आपने कमाया है वो गलत तरीके से नहीं कमाया, वो करप्ट तरीके से नहीं कराया, वो बर्डन भी अक्यूज्ड के ऊपर ही आता है। तो इसमें पिटिशनर्स का कहना है कि भाई ये तो आर्टिकल 14 का वायोलेशन हो गया सीधा सीधा। ठीक है, दैट यू आर पुटिंग द बर्डन ऑन दी अक्यूज्ड ओनली। वैसे तो जनरल क्राइम क्रिमिनल लॉ में देखोगे तो प्रोसिक्यूशन जो गवर्नमेंट का लॉयर होता है वो प्रूव करता है कि ये अक्यूज्ड है या नहीं, बट यहाँ तो आप बेचारे उसी इंसान के ऊपर डाल रहे हो सारा का सारा बर्डन। Okay, criminal cases it is on prosecution, so this section was challenged on the grounds that it is completely violating Article 14। So Supreme Court here, what did it say? Supreme Court held that section 24 has reasonable connection, nexus means connection, with the purposes and objects sought to be achieved। So that means PMLA के साथ, ठीक है, यहाँ पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि सेक्शन 24 का, ठीक है, पीएमएलए के साथ और क्रिमिनल लॉ के साथ प्रॉपर कनेक्शन है, नेक्सस है। ठीक है, तो ये अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल हो ही नहीं सकता। यहाँ पर ईडी हैज द प्रॉपर प्रूफ्स एंड एविडेंसेस दैट यू हैव अर्न दैट मनी थ्रू इलीगल इलेजिटिमेट सोर्सेज। दैट इज व्हाई विद इनफ रीजंस टू बिलीव दे आर arresting you, and if they are arresting you then that means that they have the reason। now you have to prove that you are innocent। उनके पास तो इनफ रीजन है तभी वो आपको अरेस्ट करने आ रहे हैं। ऐसे ही बिना रीजन के इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट के जो डायरेक्टर्स हैं वो किसी को अरेस्ट नहीं करेंगे। दे हैव प्रॉपर एविडेंसेस, प्रॉपर प्रूफ्स, दैट इज व्हाई दे आर कमिंग टू योर डोर हाउस एंड अरेस्टिंग यू एंड चार्जिंग यू फॉर द मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग केसेस, बिकॉज इट्स अ वेरी सीरियस एंड हीनियस ऑफेंस। nobody can be charged under money laundering very easily। Okay, so now it is your responsibility to prove that you are innocent if you really are innocent। give the proofs। आपके पास अगर वो इनकम मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग के थ्रू नहीं आई है तो you must be having your income statements, proofs, the sources of origins, etc। so that is why this section 24 is not unconstitutional, was held by Supreme Court। now another petitioner said that section 50 is unconstitutional। Section 50 talks about the statements by accused made to the Enforcement Directorate। Section 50 empowers investigating officers to summon and record statements of persons concerned and also to make note of inventory of such records or property। But Supreme Court here said ED officials are not police officers। ठीक है, इसमें बोला गया था द पिटिशनर्स दे सेड कि भाई हम जो स्टेटमेंट अक्यूज्ड देता है उसको उसके खिलाफ ही यूज किया जा सकता है ईडी ऑफिसर्स के द्वारा। तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि ईडी ऑफिसर्स पुलिस ऑफिसर्स नहीं होते हैं। सो स्टेटमेंट्स व्हिच आर मेड बाय अक्यूज्ड टू द ईडी ऑफिशियल्स दे आर नॉट डायरेक्टली अंडर आर्टिकल 20 सबसेक्शन 3। ओके, आर्टिकल 20 सबसेक्शन 3 व्हाट इज इट? इट सेज पुलिस को दी गई स्टेटमेंट मेरे खिलाफ यूज नहीं हो सकती। जो मैंने स्टेटमेंट पुलिस को दिया आप उसको मेरे खिलाफ यूज नहीं कर सकते। सेल्फ इंक्रिमिनेशन के अगेंस्ट रूल लिखे गए हैं 20 सबसेक्शन 3 में। इवन सेक्शन 25 ऑफ एविडेंस एक्ट टॉक्स अबाउट द रूल्स अगेंस्ट सेल्फ इंक्रिमिनेशन। So Supreme Court very clearly stated at the stage of issue of summons, when Enforcement Directorate is calling you, sending you notices to be present in front of the ED officers, the person cannot claim protection under Article 20 subsection 3 of Constitution. अभी तो आपको समन्स ही तो आ रहे हैं, नोटिस ही तो आ रहे हैं, तो इस दौरान आप 20 subsection 3 की प्रोटेक्शन नहीं ले सकते हो। However, if his or her statement is recorded after a formal arrest by ED official, consequences of Article 20 subsection 3 of Section 25 of Evidence Act may come into play to urge that the same being in nature of confession shall not be proved against him. So at the stage of summon you cannot use protection under Article 20 subsection 3, but yes, after his or her statement is recorded by the ED officials, you can use this particular statement. Nobody can force you to go against you. ठीक है, but after all of this, Supreme Court also talked about the provision of double surety. Now इसमें ना right to bail का provision आ जाता है. What over here in right to bail, Supreme Court says that you have to give us double surety, only then you will be eligible for bail. आपको अगर बेल चाहिए ना तो आपको हमें दो तरीके की श्योरिटी देनी पड़ेगी तभी आपको बेल मिलेगी। फर्स्ट इज दैट यू हैव टू प्रूव दैट यू हैवंट कमिटेड एनी ऑफेंस एज पर पीएमएलए। आपने पीएमएलए के अगेंस्ट कोई इसके प्रोविजंस के अंडर कोई ऑफेंस नहीं कमिट किया है, ये प्रूफ कर दो हमें तो आपको बेल दे देंगे। सेकेंड इज यू हैव टू गिव एन अश्योरेंस कि फ्यूचर में आप ऐसा कोई क्राइम कमिट नहीं करोगे। ठीक है, बोथ ऑफ दिस डबल श्योरिटी इफ यू गिव अस देन यू विल गिव यू द बेल। Okay, so in 2017 this provision was removed by Supreme Court, but again in 2018 Parliament added this provision in PMLA via the money bill. Again in 2019 this provision was challenged. People were saying is this particular provision valid that you are adding these two particular double surety points in the act using the money bill. This is not the correct route through which you should add provisions in PMLA. This was challenged by the opposition also. So Supreme Court has referred this matter to a larger bench, and we are going to get the verdict from the larger bench of Supreme Court in that particular case. ओके, तो यहाँ पर ये पूरा आपका इशू हुआ है पीएमएलए का जो अभी न्यूज में चल रहा है। आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड द इंटायर प्रोविजन, द इंटायर फैक्ट, द petitioners, the challenges that the petitioners raised, and the Supreme Court verdict on each of those challenges. So if you really understood it, do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and also if you have any doubt, do let me know in the comment section.